Hi, everybody. This is Jan Stringer, and I'm here today for our Zoominar. And the theme that I chose for the Zoominars, the one that I've been doing, did some last week and again this week, is law of attraction and how I harness the law of attraction and put it to work for me in my own business. And I know you're probably not new to this concept. It's been around for, well, it's a universal truth that's been around for years and years. But it gained some popularity right around the time the movie The Secret. Does anybody remember that one? I actually got interviewed for The Secret, which was cool. Let's see, I got to mute you, Diana and Kit. I'm just going to mute both of you. Anyway, you can unmute yourself by clicking on your picture. Okay. Anyway, I got interviewed for the Secret, but my interview is on the cutting room floor, as I say. But what an honor to be interviewed by the creator of the film and to just be in the good audience of it. But the truth is, I was a pioneer of law of attraction long before the movie The Secret came out. And I learned about it from my church. I went to Unity Church, and I started just learning from them about law of attraction and different books that they recommended. You may have read Catherine Ponder books, Spiritual Economics, Eric Butterworth. There's a number of them. They've been out for ages, but they got me actually thinking about law of attraction because I started to notice it showing up in my work. And that was before I started my company, and I was working as a VP of sales for a company, and I was noticing that I did things a little differently. And I mean, it just kind of occurred to me that had happened. But there was a lot of things that the company wanted me to do in sales and marketing that I wasn't comfortable with. And so I lied about it. Don't tell them. Who cares now? It's been 20 years later. But, so I just lied. Oh, yeah, I'm doing all that. The company says you should do this. This is the secret to your success. But I found my secret to my success was doing what was perfect for me. And so fast forward, that was over 18 years ago. I've been in my business of Perfect Customers Incorporated since the year 2000. And the book, Attracting Perfect Customers, was the launching pad. The book was written by myself and my original business partner, Stacy. And that really launched our business. And we just innately started to apply the law of attraction to our strategies. And we noticed that when we had gotten real clear and focused about what we want and what's perfect for us, and then we created this strategy for attracting it, that we started having these out of the blue experiences. Speaking engagements showed up, emails showed up, people that wanted to know more, just on and on. It was just so like magic. It was just magical. And so what we did when we were writing the book, we made our subtitle reflect what was happening when we applied our method is the power of strategic synchronicity. I mean, if you can say strategic synchronicity 3 times real fast, you got it. But strategic synchronicity is what would happen when I got clear and focused about what I want, and the synchronicity would happen out of the blue, like something magical, seemingly magical, would show up. But the reality is it's not magic at all. It's just that I got clear about what's perfect for me. And I started applying these principles to my own business, and I started teaching it to other people, which helped me to learn more about what it was all about. And I noticed in myself and the people I was working with that the more I got, trimmed away all the excess of what wasn't working for me, the more I let go of other people's programs and different ways that people said that I had to do it. The more I just let go all of that, the more that I would start to attract what I really wanted. And consequently, I have created a foundational piece of this business that I've used over and over and over consistently for 18 years, and it is still working. So that's what I want to share with you today, a little bit about how I used strategic attraction to build the business. And so what I want you to do, since this is kind of a work in process of Zoominar, I'd like you to write down on your handy dandy piece of paper, if you would like. And welcome, Rita. I see you've joined us. We'll give you a chance to say hello in just a minute if you'd like. But I'd like you to write down a goal. And this goal doesn't have to be one that you even know how you're going to achieve. In fact, I want it to be something that you have a little farther out of your realm of possibility or your realm of vision that this could happen for you. Write that down, because what happens in these Zoominars is a very powerful energy, synergy, a vortex, if you will, of what starts to happen for people that come into the field that I'm creating. And that's a big part of my programs, is that if I'm sitting at home alone, my energy field is one way, but when I start to really get into my zone of excellence, my passion, which is being in with you, that's where my energy field starts to expand, and that's where your energy fields start to expand, and then we start all to merge. We're having a big energy field party. So that's what today's all about, is just expanding our reach. And I know that I'm expanding my reach when is another way that you can write your goal. Or another way you can write your goal is I'm winning at. And I like to write my goals as if they've already happened. So write that down, and I'll give you a minute to do that. And Rita, welcome. Where are you from? If you'd like to say hello, we're kind of an informal group today. Love to hear from you. And also see Ray has joined us. So if you'd like to say hello, please do. We've got Switzerland represented here today and Richmond, Virginia. So where are you from, Rita? There you are.
Santa Clara, California.
Santa Clara. That's a beautiful part of the world. Okay. And what attracted you to be here?
I am trying to get my business off the ground.
Yes.
And looking for paying clients. I have plenty of people who are interested in what I do for free.
Uh-huh.
Now, how do I connect with those paying clients and do some expand my reach to people? I want to heal land and spaces that have experienced trauma. And I want to do that for companies that work in places that have been traumatized. And so I need to make those connections with large corporations that have nonprofit aspects to them.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Well, welcome aboard, and write that as a goal. What attracted you is really your goal for today. And so you write it as a goal, like I am winning at attracting my perfect paying client, corporate client, whatever you want to call it. I am winning at attracting my high dollar program participant. I'm winning at fill in the blank. Just make a goal, because here's what happens. And hi, Nicole, I'm going to mute you if you don't mind, just a little background noise. Anyway, what happens is that sometimes we don't have goals. And sometimes the energy is swirling all around us, and it needs a direction to go to. And so that's what I'm asking you to do by writing this goal. And it's not hard. You take about a piece of paper and a pen and write it down and see what happens. And I'll show you what to do with that goal in just a minute. All right, so thank you for being here as well, Rita. And Let's see. Nicole, hi, welcome. Would you like to say hello and where you're from? And we're informal, just casual today.
Hi, my name is Nicole. I'm from Clarksville, Tennessee. I'm a volunteer with organizing. Can you hear me? I had the
I
headphones in.
can. Now you sound great. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Nicole, Clarksville, Tennessee. I'm a volunteer for Organizing for Action. I've been volunteering with them for maybe 3 or 4 years, and just trying to pick up on post-Obama politics, current Trump politics, and influence on, African American or, Caucasian, the majority, whatever. I want to understand what everything means. And so through my volunteer work with Organizing for Action and planning events that I was doing during the entire Obama campaign, I just picked up on different conference calls and get emailed. I'm trying to wean myself off of it a bit just so I'm not overwhelming anybody, but that's what I've been doing.
Okay. And so what got you here today? Why this? If you're weaning off, what got you here today? Do you have any idea? And if you
Oh,
don't know,
well,
that's fine.
I think there's something going on with me in the job market where it becomes easier to go to church and volunteer than to work.
Hmm.
And so when you're at home more than you're on the job, so I don't know why I got picked up on this particular webinar, but I do know from a series of webinars with Organizing for Action, they probably, pick up on your organization and, oh, well, she's the one that volunteers with the STEP teams and the children in Clarksville, and they kind of, refer you to other people, and then you get invitations. So sometimes I get an invitation, I'll sign up to see what they're talking about, and
Yeah.
if it's not anything of my interest, or if they're offering, sometimes they offer videos, or they offer some kind of webinar, or some kind of, like, you can pay X amount per month that we can, give you a conference or webinar,
Yes.
so sometimes you get referred because of your volunteer work. And
Right.
so that's probably
Okay.
how I picked up on it.
Okay, good. All right. Well, we're glad you're here. And I have done quite a bit of work with nonprofits, actually, and was a speaker. It's been a few years. I don't even remember how long, but quite a few. But there was a national association for nonprofits, and I came in. I spoke to people who handle the management of volunteers, because the strategic attraction planning process that I teach was very applicable for them to realize that, gee, I can really attract a quality team, and it can be volunteers using this process. So I've worked with ministers of churches, I've worked for nonprofits, I've worked with corporations, I worked with individuals inside of companies. The moral of my story is that strategic attraction is about attracting and building relationships. And so all organizations, anything that we want to do, whether it's in our personal lives or in our business lives, revolves around a relationship. And the strategic attraction plan is applicable in either scenario. For your personal life, that would be another Zoominar about how I used it in my personal life, but we're primarily focused on business here, and you can use it for any kind of market, any kind of product, any kind of company, any size company. It's a one size fits all because it revolves around attracting and building relationships. And so that's kind of the first step in this process, is to recognize what kind of relationships do I want to attract. And if you think about in your business who you like to work with, if let's say you are an employer, and you are a manager or an executive in a company, you want to attract the perfect employee. That's a type of relationship. Or let's say you're job hunting and you want to attract the perfect employer or manager or boss, somebody that you're going to work for. This is another type of relationship. If you own your own business, think about the kind of people that you work with. And this isn't like describing them yet. It's just really getting the baby step or the big toe into the middle of your business and getting clear and focused about your own business first. 9 times out of 10, when we don't have enough clients, it's because I'm not clear about what my product and services are. And so what I'm sharing with you today is a way for you to produce more clarity, and therefore what you are putting out as a signal to other people is clear signals rather than a fuzzy TV set. So if you're not attracting the kind of customers that you want, let's get the fuzz out today and get the TV set clear so that you can see a clear picture of yourself. Or maybe that's a bad example. I use the example of the metaphor of a lighthouse quite a lot. I've used it in both of my books, Being Attraction and Attracting Perfect Customers, because if you would think of yourself or your business as a lighthouse, what's the purpose of your business if you're a lighthouse? A light, right? Put your light out. Yeah, I mean, duh, it's not hard. So think about ourselves and our business as that lighthouse, and that the purpose of our business is to put our lights out. And how do I put my light out? The light is what people see. It's the signal that other people are drawn to you for a reason. And so what we want to do is clear away all the muddiness that might be in the way, or maybe the lens to your lighthouse is fogged over and you need to wipe it clean. So today what we're going to do is help you stop being everything to everyone and just focus on what you're meant to be doing. You know, I'm like, I don't even know how many courses I've taken. I am like an expert in so many things. And you are probably too, right? I didn't really understand why I was so drawn to taking courses until recently. But the reality is, I have stuck with one thing in my business as a constant. While I teach many things, the strategic attraction plan is the one thing that people come to me for. And so you got to think about, what is the thing, my thing, the one thing that people come to me for. And so maybe you'll think of that today if you don't already know. But I had this up on the screen share when you started. Let's see, I'll do it again. Share my screen. All right. So what it says here is, get the relationships right and you'll create the right business. And so what that means to me is that the strategic attraction plan is the way to get your relationships right. And who do we have to get the relationship right with first? Myself. Deanna, you have a question.
Yes, thank you. So you're so right about that clarity around our products and services. And I struggle like for more than a year. And I think I've been completely addicted to buying trainings and programs because I was really just searching something that will make tick in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I decided, okay, I'll make me help with a coach. So I worked only 3 months with her, and it was enough to get more clear about my service.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized that, okay, I don't need now so many trainings anymore. Or if I need them, it's for very specific tasks I'll have to take for my journey. That it's clearer now. But I think that when we are doing a business, we meet so many blocks. That's the first one. And then when you become clear, I don't know how for everyone it's working, but for me, what happened is that, oh, but is it really valuable, what I'm offering? Is it really something that people are going to pay for? Because what I'm offering is more my coach told me you are a zone of genius coach. I mean, I'm helping people find out their own strengths. And
Yes.
for me, it's so useful because you have your foundation for any projects you could have. And of course, then I had to learn that in the online arena, you have to focus and target a niche. So, okay, I can do this zone of genius thing for business owners or starting business also. Okay, I get the idea, but still, it's when you self knowledge clarity, I don't feel like people will come towards you and say, yes, I want to pay you for that.
Okay, hold on. You're speaking like, okay, I got to squash that one immediately.
Okay.
Because if you're not getting paid for your work, it's like giving and not receiving. Okay, that the way giving and receiving, you got to give to the amount that you receive, and so you can't just give it all away and expect it's imbalanced.
Yes.
So you have to learn to ask for money.
Yes.
And it's not hard to do. All you do is say, here's how much I charge for this service. And but here's the thing, Diana, is that the strategic attraction planning process that I'm ranting about all the time is your step in that direction. Right. You got to do this foundational piece of a strategic attraction plan, and you'll start to shape how you want to be paid, how much you want to be paid, what you want your perfect customers to expect of you. Don't you want your perfect customers to say, I don't want it for free, I want to pay you?
I would love to.
Okay. Well, guess what? One day, I used to be a VP of sales. I mentioned that, I think, earlier. And one day I'm sitting in my box. That's what I call my office. And because I felt like I lived in a box all day, even though, I had a team and I had appointments and I traveled a lot. Those are all things I thought I really wanted to do until I got extremely stressed out and tired doing it. And so there was an imbalance inside of me because something wasn't getting fed, that I was so tired and stressed out all the time. But one day I was sitting there and I'm like, if this company were to, just doodled on my pad, and I was like, if this company did this, that, and the other, they really wouldn't need a VP of sales at this company. And I'm like, wow, what am I saying? And I'm like, I think I'm saying I'm not needed. Like, I got my job done. I built, I was in the foundational pieces. We put all the pieces in. We got it all going now. And I think I'm done. And I'm like, I'm just sitting there having this revolutionary talk with myself going, you're done. You're done. And I'm like, the company can work without you. I'm not leaving them in a lurch. And what I need to do is go figure out what I'm passionate about. So I went in and I quit that day. I didn't have a big pot of gold to draw from. I had some savings and I had some commissions that I hoped the company would pay me, which they did. And I could lean on those times until I figured out what I was doing, right? And one of the things that I had done when I had money, because I was making a good bit of money and that I just walked away from, I had signed up for a workshop. And I'm like, well, I might as well go because I already paid for it. And I went and I met a lady there, and she and I went to lunch. And she had just sold her company to a larger company. And part of her agreement was to stay on for 3 years. And she was 1.5 years into that and miserable. And I said, well, I could help you with that. I really didn't know what I was saying. And she says, okay, I would love for you to help me with that. So we scheduled an appointment. And before the appointment, I'm thinking, what was I thinking? I don't know what I can do for her. I said I could help her with that. How am I going to help her? And I'm just sitting there in my office, and I noticed I had these big foam pads, boards, like the stiff ones that stand up in your office. And I love stickies. I have pads of stickies everywhere, these Post-it notes. And that's how I would do my own planning, is I would do the planning. I put stickies up on the boards. And let's see, I had to mute you, Diana. Anyway, I grabbed my board and I had a little gift bag, a paper bag filled with sticky notes and markers. And I'm like, since I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just going to go and have fun. And I took my board and my bag of stickies and my markers, and I walked into her office. She says, "What are you going to do? Give me a presentation?" And I said, "No, I'm going to let you give me a presentation." She goes, "Okay, I don't know what that means, but come on in." And I worked with her for 3 hours to get clear and focused about what she really wanted, because she was sitting there every day saying, "I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't like this, that's not what I did before in my own company, blah, blah, blah." Her whole day was filled with things she didn't like, but I wanted to find out, what did she really want? So I worked with her. I mean, we were having a great brainstorming session, and there were stickies flying and, Post-it notes everywhere and all the color and everything. And she stopped me. She said, "What time is it?" And I told her. She goes, "We've been here for 3 hours." And I went, "Time flew when we were having fun." She says, "How much did you say you were charging me for this session?" And I went, "Oh, no, this session is free. You don't have to pay me anything." And she goes, "Really?" And she said, "This was the most valuable session." I've worked with lots of consultants, and this was the most valuable session I've ever had with any consultant. So she walks over to her desk, she gets out her own personal handbag and pulls out her personal checkbook, and she wrote me a check for $500. And she came over here and she says, "I'm going to pay you out of my own pocketbook because this was really valuable. And I want you to be paid for today, but I'm giving you this check on one condition." I said, "Okay, what's that?" Since I wasn't expecting to be paid and I am now officially unemployed, $500 sounded really good to me. She said, "Don't you ever let me hear you doing anything for free again. Don't ever do this kind of thing for free again." And I went, "Scout's honor, won't do, will not pass up a check." Anyway, I took that check and I took her words to heart, and I never not charged again for that particular kind of session. In fact, that became a mainstay. They now call those VIP sessions. Who knew? People charge thousands of dollars for a VIP session, and I was giving them away for free. But the moral of that story is, what you have innately that's your gift, somebody else is willing to pay you for because they will find it so valuable. They want what you have, and you're doing them a disservice by not letting them pay you. And so please erase that notation that's in your brain somewhere that says, "I can't ask for money," or "I can't let this, I can't afford to charge for this." You need to let that go. And I would hope if you would do, like if I were going to give you anything today, let that one go today. And here's how you get your business started and transform your business. And you don't have a business if you're not getting paid, okay? You have a hobby, all right? Give up your hobby. Get paid for who you are being. Now, I did a whole really wonderful, it was a great Zoominar last Friday, and it's on my Facebook group. If you haven't joined the Facebook group, it's called SACAT Live, Live, and I put the link in the email reminders, but you can go to Facebook and search it and add yourself as a member, because I'm posting all of these Zoominars and my Facebook Live interviews there, and you can go back and you can watch the one that talks about blinders, removing your blinders, and creating your being. Because your being is what people buy from. So if your being is that I can't charge for spiritual information. Does anybody have that one? I used to have that one. I gave that one up. Anybody have the blinder that it's hard for me to ask for payment? Give that one up. create the being that my perfect customers want to pay me. Like this lady paid me. She worked for a corporation. She would have probably had, to pull some strings to get a payment through that quickly. So she paid me personally. But I have never not been paid by people. A lot of people are worried. I do payment plans in my programs. I've only had, like, in 18 years of doing payment plans, I only had like 2 people that didn't pay. And none of those were for, you know, reasons that anyone couldn't understand. Like one person got in the hospital and another person, I forget what it was. But that's because in your field, and I talk about energy a lot because law of attraction is about vibration. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that every living thing is vibrating. And so in our being, creates a field. We have an energy field. We can see our physicalness, but there's a humongous field that can get bigger and bigger every time you expand yourself. This is an energy expanding Zoominar, will tell you that. That your being can get larger, and in your field, you can clear out the being that says, I don't want to, that I'm not going to be paid. If you're not being paid, it's because you decided you're not going to be paid.
It is so true. So but it's very funny because we can point out this for ourselves, and still this is lingering with us. And it's pretty funny because I started doing a work around this with positive affirmation, and it's almost awesome. So I'm participating in a pilot program right now, and because it's a pilot program, I'm contributing to it for free again, but only for the first 5 pilot students of this program. And one of them was so happy with the free reading I've done for her that at the end she asked me, well, how it would work to work with you? How much do you take to work with you? And I was like, well, and I was so not prepared. And I was like, again, I'm here again. And she's asking me.
Yes.
And I'm yet not ready.
I know. It's what I call a blinder. I talked about this last time, is that these are blinders we tell ourselves. And I've had probably every blinder you've got, but I've been clearing them out because, like when I live in Santa Fe, New Mexico. When I moved here from Houston, Texas. So you might hear a little Texas twang, but I moved here. I didn't know anybody, didn't have any family here. I wanted to get out of the big city. I needed a lifestyle change. And my business was on the internet. Oh, you can work anywhere, right? Because you have the internet. And I cut my teeth starting the business in Houston. I used to go to networking functions. I used to speak at breakfast groups, lunch groups, dinner groups, sometimes all on the same day. I did a lot of networking to build the business. This was before the internet and before Google, before I had a website, before I even had a business card. Yet I started building consistent clientele through word of mouth and my hard work. I worked it. And the more I talked about it in these networking functions, the more I got clear about who I am, what I like. Anyway, the blinder that I had when I moved here became very glaringly a blinder because my wonderful list of people that I'd been honing over a number of years to market to on the internet, we changed technologies. So I went from an antiquated website that housed all your database in the website, and you couldn't get it off, without dynamite. And I got a new CRM system called Infusionsoft. Some of you have probably been introduced to that. that's a whole nother story. But you can't just take a list of names and dump it into your website, into your CRM system, and then send everybody an email. I thought you could. Well, I did that. I moved everything over, and I get these spam police came knocking on my door practically saying, we're going to shut you down if you ever do that again. And I'm like, well, what do I do? It's like, well, you have to have all of these people have to opt in to want to play with you. So I'm like, you mean so my list is worthless, is what you're telling me? There you go. Yeah, your list is worthless, really. And I had zero, really, I went through this little pity party that I didn't have my list anymore because, I had been honing that list for quite a long time. And to find out that all of a sudden overnight I didn't have it, I felt like I lost everything. So I was crying my eyes out to my coach, and she says, well, how's your local marketing going? And I'm like, oh, I don't do local marketing in Santa Fe. There's too many people here like me and blah, blah, blah. I had all these lists of reasons. So she says, well, guess what? Now that you don't have an internet list, guess what you need to do? And I went, local marketing. Joy, I hadn't even thought of it. It's how I started the business. I'm really back at the same square one that when I started the business. And so I started doing local marketing, and it was like riding a bicycle, something I'd known how to do for forever. I knew how to meet and greet. I knew how to market myself personally. I just had this blinder on that said, I don't do local marketing. All of a sudden, I took that off, and guess what I found out? Next thing I know, I'm on the speaking circuit, speaking to, real estate professionals and business coaches, and I found out there's a huge market in my area. And that was all because I had this blinder that said, I don't do local marketing. And so I rebuilt my whole internet list by starting from square one again.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, maybe you have some lights on this? Because it's very interesting. I find interesting that a lot of people are describing their difficulties to ask money. It's not, I know it's not something I'm having. It's very largely spread out there. But I never find myself in those stories. What's happening for me, it's linked to this. You told at the beginning that it's all about building relationships with clients. And the thing I'm feeling when I'm getting into a relationship with someone is that money has no place there. It's inappropriate. And that's what's blocking me. And I just can't go farther. I don't know what is the blinder there. I just can't quite pinpoint it precisely. I know there is something wrong. I know where the something wrong is happening, but I can't go farther. Why I feel it's so inappropriate when you are coming in a closer relationship with someone, when really emotions and knowledge one of each other is happening, why suddenly money becomes inappropriate?
Right. So what's your blinder?
I don't know. That's the thing.
Yes, you do. You just said it. See, you think what you said is truth. I can tell. You're very committed to it.
Yes.
It's your blinder.
But I don't know how to get rid of it, because when you have a blinder...
First of all, you don't see it as a blinder. You think it's just the way it is. Right? What if there's another possibility?
Yes.
What if you could have a whole customer list, a whole bunch of people that love and revere your work, and you get paid for it?
So that's what I'm trying to do with myself these days, just working out with positive affirmation that I'm having my perfect client that loves the value I'm giving them and loves paying me back for that.
That is not the blinder you've got.
Okay, because I'm just...
Your blinder. I'll tell you what I see is your blinder. is you are not willing to charge for your services.
Okay.
Your blinder says, it tells you a variety of different things. Oh, we're too close. I can't ask for money. You know, my very best girlfriend is in my coaching program. Of course she would want to be. She was like, knows I'm like the best business coach she could ever want to have. And she says, she told me when she bought the first time, she's renewed with me numerous times. When she bought the first year of coaching, she says, I want you to know you are the best coach I've ever worked with. And I think she paid $20,000 or $30,000, some large number for a coach, and got this much from that coach. You know, where I like to work with my clients is that I like to offer way more value than what they paid me. You know, like that makes me happy. You know, I asked for what I want to be paid, and I'm not the most expensive person in town. So even if it's only a small amount of money to you, just ask for payment. Or at the very least, ask for a love offering, and you may get surprised. A love offering is where they just pay you what they feel they can. And but that gives them the complete circle. If you are giving everything away all the time and they're getting value, but you're not getting the value of being paid, then it's an open loop. It's what I call an open loop, because it keeps spinning.
Yes.
And what you want to do is you want to close those open loops. So you made a promise, whether you said this to that person or not, I made a promise to give you something of value. And their promise back to you needs to be what?
Energy.
What kind of energy?
Well, that could be, and for most people, is money. Because it's energy. I have no problem with money by itself. For me, it's a beautiful thing, money.
Okay.
But I'm so happy when I'm giving value to other people. I'm feeling so recognized, being helpful, that I'm already paid, and that's the real story. I'm already paid. And I'm feeling like being too greedy. Why wanting to be paid more?
Well, I guess you would just go back to, what do you really want? What's perfect for you? I mean, you could do this all day. I used to do intuitive readings, and I wanted to see if I liked it, because I was going to add it to my menu of services. And so I offered to some of my best clients, could I give you a complimentary reading in exchange for a testimonial? So still, there was an exchange. And then after I got those, then I started to charge. And then I realized this isn't really the direction I want to go. Even though I'm very highly intuitive, that comes out through my coaching anyway. So I don't have to, you know, just say, oh, this is just going to be a reading. It wasn't really the direction I was wanting to follow. But so that's what I would just say. You've got some blinders about it. And if you're willing to look at it another way, I think that energy flows when we're seeing multiple solutions rather than just one. And that's a dead giveaway to me. If I'm very righteous about this is the one way it has to be, then I have just blocked myself in, locked myself into something that's only going to go one way, that one way. Doesn't go that way, it's not going to go. The reality is there's multiple options. So like in my master class that I teach about product funnel, if you just have one product, then that's only one option. You could be having 5 products, and probably you're giving away too many things in that one offering. And so you can have like we have a free report, and we have a program that you pay for. We have different price points. And so you might want to look at that could be another option for you, is that there are places where you do this at no charge, and then it leads you to offerings where you do charge.
Thank you so much. Very inspirational.
Okay, thank you too. All right, well, I want to direct you guys to the Zoominars I did last week. I did one on Wednesday, and I went through the whole strategic attraction plan. So I'm not going to repeat that today, and I did kind of a quick review of it on Friday. So I invite you to go through the strategic attraction plan. What I wanted to share with you today is about how you can become clear and focused really once and for all for your business. And a lot of people work with me when they're just getting started. I think that's because it's hard to get started on your own. It's hard to, now there's a blinder, okay? I heard it when I said it. But I'm the kind of person that needs a community to get me going. Like, I don't exercise by myself. I always go with someone if I'm going for a walk or a hike, and I go to a class. I'm a class kind of person. Not everybody is. Some people are like, oh, I can watch a tutorial at home and figure that out. But if you're looking for a place of like-minded, like-hearted people to support you, that's what my program really is. In my email that I sent out this week, I refer to how important the Anam Cara is in Celtic traditions, to have someone that can see and reflect my soul back to me. That's what an Anam Cara is. And in the strategic attraction planning process in the course of the SACAT program, what we're doing every single week for 12 weeks is reflecting our soul to other people, and they're reflecting it back to us. So at the same time, what's happening over that period of 3 months where we're all meeting together is I'm understanding myself a lot better and what I'm all about. I'm also getting clear and focused about what my perfect products will be and what I want them to be and who I want to be working with. And then also in the field that gets created, again, there I go with that field thing. In our energy field, the expansion of momentum starts to kick in, is that if I'm at home trying to play with myself, it doesn't always take me to the next level. And so, it's like plugging into a group that's going to take me to the next level. So that's what SACAT is all about. That's what the strategic attraction coaching and training is about. What it is not is an information program. There's lots and lots of information programs. I know a friend of mine that's in a product launching training. I mean, she's been in it for 3 years. She's still trying to learn everything because there's so many technical things, so many studies that you need to make to really understand that particular thing. But a lot of people, one of their biggest mistakes, if you are going to do a product launch, is they don't take the time to figure out who they want to be working with first. And so it doesn't matter if you're at the product launch stage with your products, or you're just starting out, you're trying to make more money, or you're trying to really get it right, get that relationship right so you can have right business, then the SACAT is probably going to be a good investment. One, it's a low-cost investment. You can get started for $197 a month, or it's $2,000 for the whole program. And I wanted to show you a little bit about, I want to just show you my screen. Where did that thing go? All right. I'll just show you a little bit so you can understand. This is my website, if you haven't been there. Here's my free report. If you haven't gotten that, I will say I'm just like everybody else. I get a little behind. My free report, I used to run my business with Alan, who was my husband, and he died last year. And so you can imagine where I was up the creek without a paddle. He was not only my best friend and business partner, he did all the technology part of our business. And so there's a lot of things, like our free report has a lot of his input in there and pictures, etc. And so when I was doing my membership program, and this dashboard is the access to the members program that you get when you're in the program. This is a SACAT program. This is the membership site. What you get here is not only just basic information for the course. Here's the course dates. Actually, here's the course dates. Yeah, okay. That was last time we met, in the spring. Anyway, the course is on Wednesdays. It starts next week on the 17th, and we meet once a week, except for a couple of holidays that we have here in the United States, as well as the Christmas, New Year's holiday. And then there's also a retreat, which will be in January in Santa Fe, New Mexico. We do all our classes on Zoom, and then you have a training materials here. You have a beautiful guidebook. I'll open that up for you. The guidebook is your access to using the strategic attraction plan and also how to share it. Because in the program, I teach you not only how to use this for yourself, I'm going to teach you how to use it with another person, so you can actually start to monetize the payment you've made for the program by sharing the strategic attraction plan with your own clientele. In fact, you can use the strategic attraction plan, what you've learned in this program, in a variety of ways. You could do it one-on-one coaching, take people through the strategic attraction plan just like I've taken you through it. You could use it as a wonderful keynote if you're into speaking to groups. There's so much fodder in there for your really inspired talks, anything from 5 minutes to, I do 3-hour workshops. Anyway, there's so much that you can use. Anyway, there's just a lot in this guidebook as well. So that steps you through. And then, let's see, where did my thing go? All right, there it is. And then you get the recordings every week is posted in here. This is a previous class. What I wanted to share with you, there's a couple of things in this membership that you also get to learn from, are some case studies. I've worked with some really top-notch people, and I have, they've gone on from my course to do their own programs. And like Alan Davidson, he's a wonderful 6'4" gay man that he swears strategic attraction is about enlightenment, the path to enlightenment. And he uses it with CEOs, he uses it with top A-listers in the programs that he teaches. And then not only that, one of the big things in our program is all the resources you get. So you not only get our program, you have access to all these resources that you can use for yourself. For example, let's say you wanted to pick up something new on sales and marketing. Here's quite a few things that you can use. You can see a long list. And these are for you. You can download it onto your own computer, and you can go through it at your leisure. You don't have to, you know, like sometimes these courses give you tons and tons of bonuses. Well, when you sign up, you're getting all these bonuses. Well, when you do sign up, you are going to get a lot of bonuses, but they're yours forever. Like, you don't have to hurry and rush through them. You don't have to download them on your computer and forget about them. They're all right here in the membership site. Let's see. That's a good one. You know, here's one, Nancy Fields, how I created my perfect irresistible free offer. Nancy's one of our clients. And anyway, we just got lots of things. Here's JVIC, Rich Gurman's program on how to do joint ventures, how to get joint venture partners. There's just tons and tons. I even give you information on how to do your own programs. I have a program in here that you can actually use. It has all the information in it. Anyway, there's just lots and lots of things that you can use. The bonuses themselves are just really quite substantial. So I wanted to just show you that, and you can when you get into the SACAT program, you can also have the access to all of those. So a little bit about the program, and I see some more people are joining. Hi, welcome. The program starts on the 17th. It'll be a 90-minute Zoominar like this one, and then the very next day you'll have the recording posted in the membership site for your review. So ideally, we want you to come to every one, because if you want to be certified as a strategic attraction coach, then you need to attend each one of the calls. And so in order for you to really get the information and the personal experience from this training, you need to be there, because like I said, it's not an information course, it's an experience course. There is so much happening in the moment on these programs and these calls and these Zooms that one guy described it like getting a drink of water out of a fire hydrant, that is just like coming, or fire hose. And so it's just coming out so fast that you can hardly take it all in at one fell swoop. So going back and reviewing these, and then you can even download them. I didn't do this last year, but somebody suggested I'm going to do it this year, is you can put the audios into your phone. And so if you're not wanting to watch it on a computer, you can put the downloads there. And then when you're on the subway or you're in the car traveling, you can listen to the calls again. And that can give you extra energy boost and keeps you very actively engaged. Let's see, what else do I want to tell you about? We have a wonderful Facebook group. In addition to SACAT Live, I have a private group that's just for members of the SACAT community. And so not only do you get to meet the people that are on the course with you, you have access to all the people that are engaged or have been engaged as a SACAT. And we've got people that even go to each other's weddings. I mean, the relationships get kind of juicy in these courses. So you'll meet some people. You may want to. We've got like 2 people right now who are collaborating. One of them is a chiropractor, but she also uses essential oils as part of her love is to create blends for people, private blends. And then the other woman, Simber, is a harpist and a music teacher. And they've collaborated to put a product together. And the product is an essential oil blend and a meditation piece of music that goes with it. And so I'm actually having a blend created. We talked about it this morning. So it might be ready for you if you join the SACAT. I'm not going to promise it as a bonus, but my plan is to gift everyone in the SACAT with one of these special oil blends. I like to do things that are a little unique and different as a bonus. So that would be one of them. But we came up with the name of it is Push the Go button. That's what it is. Push the Go button. Because a lot of times all we need is to push the go button and get started. We have all the good ideas. We have all the knowledge we need. We have the gifts, talents, and skills that we need. All we need to do is push the go button and get started. And that's really what the SACAT is about, helping us get started. If we're dragging our feet a little bit, maybe we're taking too many courses, this may be the last training you take. Don't take too many courses. I used to take courses nonstop for quite a long time. And then at one point I said, I got to channel all that wonderful learning that I just, received from all these places and do my own business. And now I do. So, at some point you're ready to stop all of that and get started. So maybe pushing the go button for you today would be part of the SACAT program. All right, I see we're kind of at the top of the hour, but I want to open the floor up for any questions or comments.
I'll make a comment.
Thank you.
You said something about your email list and the feeling of if you don't have your email list, what's next when that's all that you have. And the reason why I slowed down with certain activities, and even if it generates income, is because if you're not here any longer, that email list doesn't matter. Does that make sense? And so sometimes, I began to take action because I realized that if I did not take action, I wasn't going to be here and that email list wasn't either. And then when you get the nudge, you learn about what's preventing you from your success. You finally understand the system and you get into your safe place again. You just realize I just need to keep myself safe, because if you're not here any longer, there's not going to be any email list and you're not going to have anything to give anybody. So that's just my advice. I've pretty much been in the house for the last 9 months because I was in a position that if I did not act, I was going to be at that point. And now that I'm in a safe place again, I'm still in that mentality. Sometimes I don't act because I want to still be in this place. So that's just some good advice, and hopefully it helps somebody.
Well, I call that dropping the cloak of invisibility. Is that, I went through 3 years of healing, deep personal healing, back in 2010 to 2013. And it was very hard for me to get back out in the public again. And I still kept one toe in the business world, and I kind of still did a few things, but it was a dramatic shift from where I had been before. And I knew I needed the personal healing. And so when the opportunity came up to do it, I just went, I know this is one thing that I need to stop and do, because it's going to prevent me from really achieving anything of what I really want. And so I did the deep dive into my own personal healing and got the help I needed. And on the flip side, about after 3 years, I went, you know what? I need to dust off perfect customers. I need to rebrand it a little bit, get a new website, freshen things up. But mostly, I needed to find out, who am I on the other side of this personal healing? Like, we go through life changes, right? And so I had to drop my cloak of invisibility, because one of my gifts is speaking. And, whether I'm speaking on a Zoominar or in front of a live audience, well, not that a live, you know what I mean, in a room full of people, I'm not really sharing my gifts. And it took a little bit of doing to get back out there as a speaker. And a lot of things came up for me, and I had to work through those. But I was very committed to not letting anything stop me. And so sometimes what stops me or us is what's going to happen on the other side. I knew that it was going to be a little painful for me to get back in the saddle, so to speak, and speak to people. And an audience can be your heart, make your heart sing, but it can also feel crushing if you feel like you didn't really sink the ball in what they wanted to hear. And sometimes what would happen after I spoke, I would get so nervous that I would break out in a rash afterwards. And sometimes I'd be sick for about 3 days afterwards. And I'm like, all right, I am committed to that I can walk in front of any group and not be sick ever again. And so I just kept at it until I dropped my cloak of invisibility, and it wasn't painful. But I knew that was part of my healing journey. So I don't know if that tied into what you were saying, Nicole, or not, but I do understand.
No, it was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Comments or questions? All right. Well, I'm going to close for today. I am going to put out some information. I wanted to just show you, if you want to get more information on the SACAT program, let's see, where did my little share button go? You know, before my email goes out, sometimes I'm not you will probably learn I'm not the proverbial marketer that is teed up 20 emails to hit you tomorrow. I do my business the way it's perfect for me, and what's perfect for me is whenever it is. It's not always the way everybody says you should do it, but I do believe, and I have created this over and over, that if it's perfect for me, it's perfect for my perfect customers. All right, this is under programs on my website, and I will send out an email. It's very simple. What you're going to get in the program is training, support, and community connections. We talked about that. You're going to get a weekly training call for 3 months. You're going to get access to the class recordings and the documents. That's in the membership section. You get a Facebook group. Also, if you really do want coaching on how to be a speaker or more sales and marketing, you will probably love speaking with me, because I'm an expert. I really am. I've been doing sales and marketing since I started my career at 24, and so quite a few years. I also have these attractive resources that I showed you. I give you forms in there that you can use. You could start doing strategic attraction coaching tomorrow if you wanted. You signed up today, you can start doing it tomorrow. I'll give you the forms you use. I even give you, if you have a talk, I give you a script you can use for different link talks that you could go out and talk to a group tomorrow. And I also am here on line support. I did a coaching program one time just to share with you in contrast of what's important to me. I just thought everybody was into connection, but apparently that coach wasn't. She stacked her coaching appointments up every 30 minutes on one day. And so, you know, if you had 31 minutes of need to talk to her, she cut you off early. And I'm not that way. I'm more accessible. You can reach out to me on the email, or you can text me, or you can schedule what I call a laser session, where I shine the light with you on a particular topic. Let's say you're stuck in the muck on something, or you need to push the go button, you just can't get it started. Maybe you need to write some sales copy to go out on an email. Maybe you're going to meet with somebody and you want to know what's a better approach than what you were planning to do. Maybe you want to consult with me about prices. There's so many things that I can help you with to get your business jump started. All you have to do is be part of my program, and then you'll find out why I say that I get rave results, and that I have the #1 strategy for creating lucrative, loyal, raving fans. And most of my clients no longer are referred to by me as clients anymore. It's really attracting my perfect friends, because we get to know each other really, really well. And so if that's something you want a tribe of people like that you're going to have 10 times more results with, more personal attention, direct personal connection with me, then this could be your next gig, your next thing. So with that, I'm going to say thanks for being here today, and great success.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.